I work for the New York City Housing Authority as a supervisor of grounds.
I'm a water use inspector.
I'm a cement mason for New York City.
Local 237 Teamsters represents over 200 different titles, and we do all types of work.
My job is to make sure that these tenants are happy with where they live.
I think we have an important job, and I think the public does, because we're the front line.
You go by priority first. What's the most dangerous to the people of New York? And that's what you're trying to fix first.
We represent attorneys, we represent school safety agents, we represent hospital police officers, we represent CUNY campus peace officers, we represent skilled trades, maintenance workers, elevator mechanics, plasterers, bricklayers. We represent 9,000 members that work for the New York City Housing Authority. We also represent municipalities in Long Island. All of our members have two things in common. One, they provide services that are vital to New York City and Long Island. Two, they risk getting injured each and every day at work.
When you get hit like that, your body goes into shock.
We take a risk every day when we go into work because we're dealing with equipment that we never know how it's going to react on certain situations.
It's very dangerous. You take the meter apart, say, oh, well, you turn the water off, there should be no water in there. Now you're standing in this water and you got electricity flowing. It can get pretty scary pretty fast when the sparks start to fly from flange to flange.
We're dealing with fumes, germs, bacteria. We deal with trees, we deal with bugs, we deal with insects, we deal with all kinds of animals.
People on the road, they show no respect for the safety that is put up on the job. They don't care if they kill you or not.
In this country, every day, 13 people are killed on the job. Every year, 4 million people are injured at work. Something people don't realize, public sector workers are more likely to be injured than private sector workers.
The guy in front of me goes down a steel staircase and all of a sudden he just disappears. He went down and he hit every rung on the banister with his arms, both arms.
I've witnessed somebody lose their toes with a lawnmower because they were never really trained on how to, operate a lawnmower.
There are a lot of TV shows that highlight dangerous jobs, such as crab fishermen and loggers. But here in the New York metropolitan area, do we really have dangerous jobs? Sadly, the answer is yes. Every day, Local 237 members are injured. They either hurt their backs, slip and fall, cut themselves, or breathe in something that can trigger asthma attacks. These are some of the examples our members face in their agencies each and every day.
One time I was drilling on the outside of a building. I reached over and I grabbed the telephone booth. And the telephone booth was charged, and I got hit. I had the drill in one hand, and I leaned over to grab my balance, and I touched the telephone booth, and the booth was charged, and I got hit.
The assignment was we had to move stones and build a retaining wall. And with removing the stones, some of them were big, and we didn't have the material or the equipment to break a stone. Stone is broken a certain way. You cannot break it with a jackhammer or a sledgehammer. So it was easier just to move the stone. By me moving the stone, I ripped the muscle in my arm because the stone was too heavy.
I was picking up a wall unit, a big wall unit. Okay, it was about 6 feet tall. I took it to the container. When I went to flip it off the back of the truck, okay, I didn't realize when I turned it was already coming back because I never heard it coming back. So when it came back, it caught me on my shoulder.
And what do people usually say? It's a shame that Joe got hurt. It's part of his job. It's a shame that Jane got hurt. She should have been more careful.
They're wondering is what you did wrong so that they can cover themselves. Well, why was this? Why did you do this? Why did you do that?
I couldn't lift my arm at all after I already notified the supervisor and everything, but he took it as a joke. To him, he was laughing and everything. Oh, you clumsy and all that.
You always feel blamed. The first thing they make you feel is that you're being blamed for what you did.
There are times that we're instructed to do certain jobs we know are dangerous, okay? But we can't refuse it because they immediately want to bring us up on charges for insubordination, which is unfair because basically they're just telling us, do the job, we don't care what happens. You know, if you live, you live, you die, you die. That's the way they feel about it.
But there's a better way to look at the situation. We need to look and see if this was part of Joe's job or if Jane should have been more careful.
Things break because you don't have the right equipment to do the job. If you had better equipment, you wouldn't get hurt.
We asked them for help, to give us help on straightening out these issues that we're finding in the field, and we can't get any help from our management. They basically just blow us off every time we sit down with them. You know, why do you need that? Why do you need a tester to test the voltage?
In the past few years, Local 237 has expanded its health and safety program to more vigorously protect our members. We want to look closer at the conditions that led up to the injuries to see if there could have been a better way to prevent them.
So we're constantly sniffing that stuff on a daily basis. We request an exhaust fan, oh, well, look into it. That's all you ever get. Or get us a price and we'll see if we can pay for it. You get a price quote from a company, they come in, oh, we get this ventilation system, oh, that's too much.
You have budgets and who's running behind on the budget, so you don't get the materials to do the job properly.
You ask for equipment to make your job easier and safer. And eventually what happens is you become labeled as the person that is a troublemaker.
Injuries are common in a lot of places besides the workplace. Car accidents, plane crashes, and consumer recalls are all incidents where people are at risk. But these injuries are approached very differently than many workplace hazards. Every industry, engineers study to make their products safer. Let's take cars, for instance. Engineers study to make sure that the seat belts work properly, the airbags are deployed properly. Car companies are building cars safer, rather than trusting that drivers are driving safer. When a plane crashes, the National Transportation Safety Board comes in and conducts an investigation. Their findings are shared throughout the industry. They make recommendations. They recommend anywhere from airplane design, route changes. They don't just say it was left up to pilot error. So why is it when a worker gets hurt, the investigation stops with Joe or Jane should have been more careful?
Somebody's gonna die, and everybody will turn their back, talk about, oh, it wasn't me that did it. You know, they're gonna blame that employee because he was told to do the job, and he did it.
Why is it always after the fact? It always being after the fact is what makes it dangerous.
Local 237 encourages the same approach that the National Transportation Safety Board takes when there's a plane crash and that the car industry takes when there are car accidents. We want you to look deeper into the problem and not just blame the worker. Our job at Local 237 is to make sure that each and every member goes home safely. Remember, accidents are no accident.
For far too long, many people blame the worker for getting hurt on the job. At Local 237, we are working hard to change that misperception, but this could only happen if all our members get involved in identifying the real reasons people are getting hurt. Local 237 has a program we need your help on. 1. Report unsafe conditions you find on the job. Begin by reporting to your supervisor, but if you need help or you feel your concerns are not being answered, contact the union. 2. Report all injuries or near misses on the job. If injuries are not reported, they don't count. No one will know what happened. 3. Get involved in the investigation. Report it to the union for help. Instead of just looking at the final thing that happened, look for the root cause. Root cause is all those things that contribute to the accident. Were the conditions safe? Were you properly trained? Did you have the right equipment? The union is available to assist with investigations and will offer periodic workshops to train our members to conduct their own investigations. If you feel that a job is unsafe, speak to your supervisor. Tell them, I'm not refusing the job, but I'm only able to perform this work if I have the proper training and equipment to ensure my safety. Remember, everyone needs to be involved to have a safer workplace. If you are unable to resolve a problem on the job, please tell your shop steward, business agent, or call the union headquarters for assistance.